we'll keep an eye on that. We'll probably tune back into that probably in about 4 or 5 rounds' time, just to see how that one's progressing. But yeah, Greg, you've hinted at it a moment ago. Paul Vaughan, this is a shocker for me. I don't see how a British Super League can take into account a COVID party in Australia as part of their reasoning for giving him a game ban. And when you actually see this challenge, I mean, how many players deserve a 1-match ban this week for that? I mean, that for me is the most innocuous challenge.
He's not even dropped his hip on his legs. His hips have hit the ground first.
Yeah.
You know what? There are Super League coaches outside of St Helens, Wigan and Leeds this week checking which their players have got a speeding ticket or a parking fine. Because if you're going to take that into consideration, every Super League player won't be walking on cracks in pavements for the next 2 weeks in case you get a ban for it. It's scandalous. Yeah. It is absolutely scandalous. So I've got to watch my words here because it might.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I mean, that for me, that tackle happens in every game at least 5 or 6 times.
And do you know what? I've watched that Morgan Knowles incident several times, and I might upset a lot of people here, but I can't see what Morgan Knowles did to warrant a 5-match ban. I really can't.
Well, I think I mean, let's be fair. He's got away with murder the last few years.
He has, but you know, you can't take that into account. The fact that they got off on a technicality.
No,
Morgan Knowles. I know. I've probably going to upset Freddie because you know Mr. McGilvray has been quite vocal about how that should be, and I think even Steve-O's been saying he should have got a 10-match ban. But I've watched that several times with Morgan Knowles, and I've watched this several times.
Yeah,
it's like the Charnley ban last year. It's like science fiction.
It's absolutely bonkers. Well, Dawn Baker is a Wigan fan. It'll be interesting. She don't know where we're going next, but at the moment, Dawn's in agreement with us. She doesn't get this one. No, and she's a Wigan fan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you actually read what this grade B ban is all about, it's basically saying that he has tackled, putting at risk serious injury to the player.
The referee. Look where the referee is. The refere's there. This is Chris Campbell we're talking
about. Player got up, mate. Player got up.
If he thinks that is dangerous, there is no way he's not going to blow for a penalty that close to the sticks against Warrington.
Well, here's the interesting thing. What you're hinting at there, Gregory, getting your Sunday name now, is what you're hinting at there is that the referee has not made the decision to give him the ban. It's basically trial by TV. In the very same game, ladies and gentlemen, this happens.
No, this is an absolute.
Darryl Clark has been out with a knee injury. You may have missed this on the night. Remember, a grade B offence is putting at risk serious injury to a player. Kai Pearce-Paul knows Darryl Clark only just made this game after a knee injury. Watch this tackle. Look what he's doing.
That is disgraceful.
Now, if Paul Vaughan has been tried by TV, can somebody explain to me how that challenge there is not a grade B offence at the minimum?
At minimum.
That for me,
he could have popped his hamstring, his groin, he could have popped his knee.
Look what he's doing. That is intentional. That is 100%, and that is on TV. So if you're going to do Vaughan trial by TV, how on earth has Kai Pearce-Paul got away with that?
And where was John Wilkins screaming, "Stay down," pretend to be injured, Clark for that one, like he does with Mr. Myler from Leeds. He's very, very supportive of Mr. Myler pretending to be injured.
Shocking. Well, Dawn's gone straight in. She's called it disgusting. Well done, Dawn.
Yeah,
That's what we like to see.
I'd have a lot of Wigan fans I've been talking to this week, and they have said that Wigan deserved to win that game. No doubt about it.
Of course they did. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the highlights in a minute. I mean, there's a few contentious ones, but this here for me, we said it before we came on air, the disciplinary panel in the Rugby Football League is not fit for purpose. End of conversation. There's far too many inconsistencies.
Once IMG have got their feet under the table, I want them to abolish this panel. In no other football is the most popular sport on the planet, whether we like it or not, because that sport tries to get the best players, the superstars, the people who bring the crowds into the game on the pitch for every single game. All Rugby League seems to want to do is stop the superstars from playing. Is stop the Vaughans, that, you know, a few years ago, the Metalti thing in the Challenge Cup final, where they banned one of the Metalti brothers, and it was the story of the final. Ashton Sims, they had a kit designed to look like Thor. What did they do the week before? They banned him for Magic Weekend when it was all centered around.
But look, we've got to be careful here, right? I am all for the rules of the game, being well managed.
Yes, by the referee.
Yeah, and even don't get me wrong, even if it's trial by TV, providing there's consistency, and in the very same game, and nobody can argue in the chat which is the worst offence, Paul Vaughan or Kai Pearce Paul. It's not even close.
But why there were several grade Bs this week. Paul Vaughan is the only one who gets a ban. The rest.
No, Liam Wood got one as well. No, Liam Wood got one as well. But you're right. There was about
wasn't the same offence though, was it?
No. It was a grade B. It was a grade B.
Yeah, but it was a different offence, wasn't it? I think
one of them was. I think he got done on 2, and one of them was the same offence. But
was it? There was
about another 6, but Vaughan's was the only one that got a ban. But like I say, when I watched it back and I saw Kai Pearce Paul do that, and then I didn't really give him. I mean, I was going to talk about it, but then when Vaughan got his ban and Pearce Paul didn't even get pulled in front of him, you're like, oh my lord, what is going on? And this is fake stop of the game for me.
When we watch the highlights back, there are several occasions where high shots are penalised. They seem to be out of fashion now, as far as discipline is concerned. Last season, they were banning players left, right, and centre for anywhere above the shoulder. Now it's.
But again, mate, I've got no issue with that, providing that it's consistent. Some head high shots are not a sin bin, and they're not a ban. Some
when a player's going down, when a player's slipping and going downwards, and the contact with the head, I agree that is not a sin bin and it is not a disciplinary issue. But you're right. If we take away the disciplinary panel, it instantly makes referees have to be better.
It makes them accountable, mate.
To make accountable and better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, somebody said something very interesting. My daughter, as a lot of people might fall out now, but my daughter's been playing rugby union over the winter to keep fit and to keep her eye in playing rugby unions before she goes back to league. And somebody said something interesting. The difference between rugby league, one of the differences between league and union, is union referees apply the rules of the game. Rugby league referees interpret it. And that's the difference.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Anyway, we've said our piece on it.
Interpret the rules of the game. You have to apply them.
Absolutely. We've said.
Union referees you get the odd one or two who maybe not fit for purpose, but in the main, union referees are far better.
At the risk of labouring this point, I think everybody's in agreement. It's an absolute farce. Other news. A lot of rumours coming out from Castle.